This week on Sonny's Adventures, Sonny gets put through his paces by an ex-police dog handler. And I step out of my comfort zone by doing my first ever interview with Bill, who'll be training Sonny about his time and experience on the force. What I would like to achieve from this training with Sonny today is just to get a little bit better on his lead. As you can see from the video footage, he just relentlessly pulls. Some work on his recall when he goes on this island. How did you get into being a police dog handler?
It was a natural progression from being a PC, where I actually put an application in to be a dog handler. So I went through the stages of training, and then basically finding a station where you were going to get planted at. So that's basically how I started off.
So, like, as for choosing the dog, what's the process for that? Are you assigned a dog, or do you actually choose one yourself?
No, you effectively, the dog's actually already chosen for you. Yeah. So you in the job that I did, the dog is actually a rough diamond. It's got basic skills, but then obviously you have to actually adapt them skills to the actual police dog stages.
Does it take long for you to actually bond? Can you get the dog or not?
No, I've always found that with you seem to bond quicker with bitches for some strange reason. A bitch dog, whereas with male dogs, again, it just depends on each dog, how quickly you bond with them, and I suppose that in itself is how much work you do with them.
So, what was the first dog you mentioned? But you've had a couple in the past.
Yeah. So my first dog was it was like days gone by when there used to be two classifications of dogs. One was a PD1, one was a PD2. Effectively, the only difference between the two dogs was that the PD2 didn't do track and search, whereas the PD1 did everything that a police dog, everybody expects a police dog to be able to do. And then the actual process of the job then changed, so everybody was PD1 trained. So what effectively is known as a police dog, everybody was getting them dogs up to that particular standard.
Can you describe the selection and training process for the dog you wanted to work with?
Effectively, our force took dogs from the army, so the army had trained the dogs up to a certain standard, and then when you turn up for your new dog, you're assigned to one particular dog, and then you go through the training process of the dog, and then you go back to station, and every so often you go through a training session with an instructor. So effectively, a lot of the time you're doing training on stations with their fellow handlers, and then every so often, so many months, an instructor will come down and just assess and make sure that your training and the team is up to standard.
So the personality of your dog was different at home to when he was at duty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to
More
a
like a
degree.
pet at home, or
Um,
was it still?
in theory, not the. I mean, in theory, they're still a working dog. So you have to take that into consideration when you're exercising them somewhere, or when you've got people around, etc. You've still got to have that safety element in the back of your head. But yeah, effectively, the dog's kennelled at home, so you've got a kennel in the back garden, and then you're the only person that's actually allowed to take that dog or exercise that dog at any one time. And the protocol is that you take it as far away as you possibly can from the potential of coming across the general public. And basically, the dog lives in a kennel either at your home or at work. And that's the rules and regulations with regards to home kenneling.
Yeah. So the majority of police officers, would they like keep the dogs at home, or would they more likely keep them at the kennel?
Most of them, I think there was still, unfortunately, the force was a little bit backward in coming forward with regards to home kenneling. Obviously, with regards to civilian forces, they tend to automatically home kennel. There's no kenneling process for their dogs a lot of the time. With ours, you did find that a lot of the actual handlers preferred their dogs to be kennelled rather than at home. And that could be for a number of reasons, whether it's responsibility, whether it's just because they've got busy lifestyles outside the job. I don't really know. I think that's up to each individual handler, but a lot of the handlers did like to have their dogs at home.
What were some of your most memorable or challenging situations you and your dog faced again?
On one occasion, I used my dog to search for a missing boy, and obviously that was the pressure was self-inflicted, if you like, because you want to actually achieve the aim with your team, the dog and yourself. But there's also that aspect in the back of your head where you start potentially doubting yourself that you can actually achieve what you've gone out to do. But on this occasion, the dog came through with flying colours and found the missing boy that'd been missing for over, I think it was for approximately 2 hours. So that was a bonus. And it's one of those things where if you do some sort of training aspect, then you go into the real thing, then any faults or any weaknesses that you're noticing within the team, you can work on it.
Yeah.
And address them potential problems. So it's always a good thing when training days are perfect for that particular aspect, because you training highlights certain weaknesses that the team might have, and the instructor will help you to work on their particular weaknesses.
How did you build the level of trust and communication required for effective teamwork?
I think that's down to training and the bonding that you have with your particular dog. That all comes together over a matter of weeks. The dog starts to realise what you're trying to do, and whilst you're going through your training process, you'll note your dog's likes and dislikes, and regardless of whether the dog's got likes or dislikes, and effectively you have to work on all the skill bases so that the team is as good as it possibly can be.
How do you build your authority above the dog?
I think it's one of them things where you actually one, it's trust. There's got to be trust between you and the dog, because effectively you're a team. And I think it's, as well as that, is the dog has to know that when you're directing it to do something, it has to do it. You kind sometimes I think dogs can be rewarded at the wrong times or rewarded for the wrong things. And I think it's one of those things where you actually have to focus and address when you actually reward the dog, and the dog gets rewarded for doing the thing that you've asked it to do, what you want it to do.
Yeah. Did your dog have any particular strengths and specialised skills that stood out?
Over the period I've had 4 dogs, and certainly my last dog, our strength was our nose. Our nose work was unbelievable. She was used on one occasion to. There was an incident where after about 12 hours cold, the track was cold. I used her to go out and find individual items.
All right.
And because it was so cold,
What was that, like drugs or?
it was just items. Just items that required to be found. And she came up trumps. After 12 hours cold, she came up with a couple of articles that belonged to the individuals concerned. So,
like, the items that they've been looking for, the way she found that, is that because his scent would have been on it? Is that how that would have?
Effectively, that's what the dog's looking for. It's looking for human scent. It's looking for something that's actually foreign to that area. So effectively, the items that she recovered were foreign to that area because of the scent attached to them. I mean, it was made it a lot easier for me because one of the handlers did a track the night before for individuals, and then the following day when I came on and it was 12 hours cold, he gave us indications of where the areas what he believed certain items might have been found.
Did you keep your dog motivated and mentally sharp throughout the career?
I think one of the things you've got to remember is the training has to be a game, and the dog always has to win. And I think that in itself, if a dog's looking for enjoyment, then the enjoyment is winning, and enjoyment is doing certain exercises that might be a bit of a bind to it, but the dog is aware that at the end of the exercise, it's going to be a reward.
What's something the public often misunderstands about police dogs or police handlers?
I was going to say something. I was going to say that the public won't realise that the way of actually handlers get chosen is because they have to be photogenic. But that's just a joke, because if you weren't photogenic, then you tend to get thrown into CID. But no, I think one of the things that possibly public don't realise is the amount of training that goes into the team, and the actual strength of the bond between the dog and the handler. And I think sometimes that could be underestimated, just how much there is between the team and how much they both rely on each other so much.
How did the job affect you personally, emotionally, physically, or in terms of career growth?
I think emotionally, being a dog handler, you've always got that attachment to your dog. And although you've got like great colleagues who you can actually rely on quite a lot, I still think there's that element where you if you're away from that actual environment and your dog's in that environment, you're often wondering just how well your dog is, if your dog's okay. So I think that element of the job is that you never 100% switch off, because you're always. It's not like when like for argument's sake, if you do a job where you can actually leave it at that particular location and switch off. Whereas with a handler, I don't think many handlers actually switch off 100%, because they're always wondering how their dog's doing, how the dog's keeping. So I think from that element, you're never away from your role 100%.
Yeah.
Stay. Boy, that's it.
What was your dog's transition to retirement like, and how did life change for the both of you afterwards?
It was I suppose in a way it was quite nice to see her retire, because there's often cases where you don't get that opportunity to see your dog retire because of illness or age, or because the dog goes back in that particular environment. So it was nice to see her retire and almost go into a domestic dog mode. But I think at the end of the day, I still think she hankered to work. So she still did some elements of training, but it was nothing in comparison to what she had done as a working dog.
Was it just retirement why you decided to retire? Or
One, probably the age. I was getting to the age where I thought, well, I'll have to give up eventually. Two, it's probably because I was coming to an age where I was offered another dog to take on, but my concern was that I was going to have to leave that dog still in the force, and I didn't particularly want to have to do that. So I was supported quite well by colleagues with regards to the potential of moving on to another dog, but in me heart of hearts, I knew I couldn't actually do that. I couldn't leave a dog back once I was going to finish up.
is it like an average age for a retirement for a dog? Or?
Yeah, usually it's around about the 8-year-old.
So not all handlers like to take the dogs when they retire. So what would be the process to rehoming a dog?
I don't know what the process is now, because it's been such a while since I've been out of the job.
we're going to do some training. I think he's wanting to get out. And,
Is that stopped now?
well, thank you very much.
Oh, that's no worries. Good boy. I'm taking him to the car when I want to go to the car, not when he wants to get in the car.
Yeah.
Good lad. Right, now you can, Good boy.
So what are you doing there to make him like?
I'm just touching the lead. Close. Good boy. Just keep changing direction when he starts coming the wrong direction. Good boy. Close. Close. Should be saying here. Good lad, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. What a good lad. What a good boy. Close. Oh, yeah. Oh, good boy. There, lad. Good boy. It's a good lad. What a good boy.
I was really taken back with how much Bill achieved with Sonny in such a short space of time, both on his lead and with his recall. The techniques she's taught me today I will be using with Sonny in the future.